I saw a funny joke the other day, and it said, my wife thinks I'm cheating on her. And he said, I went and played 9 holes with her, and she said, there's no possible way that you could be gone for 6 hours at a time every Saturday and be as bad as you are. So what are you really doing?
Good morning, everybody. A special morning edition of the TomCast. I'm the Tominator, Tom Cherichello. It's Wednesday, April the 9th, the eve of the Masters. We'll be talking about that in a little bit. With us today are my man, Big Joe. Hey, Joe.
How you doing, Tom? How you doing, Mike?
My man, Mike Fey, noted personal injury attorney in Minnesota, Iowa, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Wisconsin. Hey, Mike.
Morning, Tom. Hey, Joe. How you doing?
Good.
Thanks for having me on again.
None of the girls are with us today. They're out and about. All right, let's get right into it. It's going to be a sports episode today primarily. I try not to focus only on one topic on this program, but we've been doing a lot of sports because there's been a lot of stuff going on. Let's start with the NCAA tournament. Monday was the men's final. Florida 65, Houston 63. Real exciting game.
You know, I loved all of the Final Four games. People were complaining that, all the number 1 seeds are in it.
Yeah.
You know, boring. I thought it was
they
some
were
of the
fantastic.
best basketball I've seen going
and
back
hard
to
fought.
Yes,
Hard fought.
as memorable as going back to Georgetown and Villanova kind of times in the 80s.
Yeah.
I thought it was great basketball, high level, great entertainment, and all the games were close as heck.
They were competitive games.
I like the Auburn-Florida game was intense.
The semifinals, I guess the big story, Duke was up on Houston by 6 with 33 seconds left, and they blew it.
It was an all-time gag.
Yeah.
They did everything they could to lose that game.
Yeah.
They missed the front end of the one-on-ones. Yeah. They threw the ball away on the inbounds play, and then they kicked it out and hit the 3.
Yeah.
And I have a pool with my family, and I had actually picked Duke to win the whole thing. I had Duke playing Florida in the finals. Yeah. And, I had 2 brackets, and I had Florida winning in one, Duke winning the other. And I still think they're the best 2 teams.
Duke's probably the best team. You could very well make that argument. Yeah. They didn't win. They ever the saying they snatched defeat from the
made it easier for Florida. That made Florida. I'm not saying Florida had it easy because that was a tough game. Houston kind of had that one in the bag, but I'll tell you what, that was an easier draw for Florida getting to go up against Houston, I think, than having to play Duke.
Oh, no question about it. And in our office pool, Joe was the big winner of the Tominator Law NC.
Took out the 4 girls.
I guess Joe has to collect now. He has to chase these girls.
That's
Anyone pay you yet?
I couldn't let you in it.
What do you get? Like a dinner at Waltz or something?
They each put up $20.
$20.
All right, that's a dinner at Waltz.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Joe get a dinner anywhere he wants.
Molly, Bethany, Jamie, and
Kristen.
Yeah.
I can always take it out of their pay, Joe.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. FICA, NCAA pool.
There's another reason why there are no women at this thing. I got something I got to talk about.
Speaking of women, the women's tournament final was Sunday, and UConn destroyed South Carolina. Oh, yeah. And South Carolina was a 1 seed. UConn was a 2. Yeah. Connecticut, 82-59. Unbelievable player for Connecticut, Paige Beckers.
And I think they beat 3 number 1 seeds in that.
She's from Minnesota.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
She was great when she was like 12.
I
think she made the varsity
team. She went to UConn from
Minnesota.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she made the varsity in her town when she was 12 or 13. That's how good she's been.
And she's expected to be the number 1 pick in the WNBA draft. And I don't go out of my way by any means to watch the WNBA, but one day I was at Hooters and there was nothing on. There was no baseball, football, hockey, men's basketball, or the only thing on was the WNBA. And I watched it, and I got to say, I enjoyed it. I think maybe why is because as a guy who could never even dream of compete with NBA players, I'm not saying I could compete with WNBA players either, but it's more like, not as high speed. Like these NBA guys are just like freaks of nature. They're such tremendous.
Yeah, they shoot the ball really well. They pass it around. They move it. It's not as much a one-on-one game as the NBA.
Yeah.
My daughter played all like AAU basketball growing up and all that. And I would bring her to some of the Lynx games, and they would, but even back then, would sell the place out, especially in the playoffs. It's been fairly popular.
It kept my attention.
I went to a number of Globetrotter games.
I remember when I was a kid. Did you ever go see the Harlem Globetrotters?
My parents probably went as a little kid.
Meadowlark Lemon, Marcus Haynes.
I bet I've been to maybe
Curly Neal. They're probably still around.
5 or 6 of them I've been to.
Not the same guys, but I'm sure they're still around.
I saw a little bit on TV. They added a 4-point shot now to the Globetrotters. They have a little circle out on the corner right around half court on each, and they shoot the 4-pointers, and they make them like unbelievably often.
They should do that in the NBA. A 4-pointer from half court. So teams are down late in games, they're launching them up. That would mess with the gamblers.
Imagine they're doing a lot of practicing from that area too.
Imagine you're betting and you're like laying 8. And your team's up by like 15, and the other team hits 2 4-pointers.
Well, on Barstool Sports, Dave Portnoy owns it.
Hey, we don't talk about competitive.
Okay, yeah, it's very competitive.
We're trying to catch up to him.
So I believe he had a 5-team parlay, and the last thing that he needed on it was like $25,000 to win, I think $180,000.
Right.
Was Duke money line. And that's how he.
Oh my God!
I know.
He probably posted some nasty stuff.
Could he get the early buyout? Or that's only with Hard Rock. Oh, this.
No, I'm sure he could have got the early buyout if he wanted to.
Yeah, but with Trey.
I don't think at any time you would have.
But this is
by the time the early buyout was gone, like I wouldn't take it up 11 with a couple minutes to play.
Yeah.
I would take my money. I wouldn't buy that out.
Yeah.
So he probably didn't think he needed to.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about it more in the weeks ahead, but the NBA and the NHL seasons are winding down. Their playoffs are getting ready to start. In the NBA Eastern Conference, Cleveland is the number 1 seed, and the defending champion Celtics are number 2. The Celtics are coming out of late. Earlier in the year, they did not look like they would repeat, but they're starting to put it together. In the NBA West, the number 1 seed is Oklahoma City by far. Number 2 is Houston. Oklahoma City beat the Lakers last night in Oklahoma, but they lost to the Lakers earlier, a couple of days before that in L.A.
They get the best record overall.
Yeah, Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
They have SGA, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. He's an unbelievable player.
Well, since the Lakers got Doncic, I think they've been one of the best teams.
Oh,
They just gave him away. Dallas just dumped the salary because they know they weren't going to be able to pay him next year. 2
wild card teams, as you mentioned, the Lakers. LeBron is still playing at an unbelievable level, which is, I said many times on this program, is amazing at his age. And they got Luka, Golden State with Steph Marbury and Jimmy Butler. They acquired from Miami Heat. Both those teams, in any given night, can beat anyone. So it's really going to be, the NBA playoffs are going to be interesting. NHL, our hometown Tampa Bay Lightning right now are the number 2 seed in the East, and they can get number 1. They have a big game tonight against Toronto. If they win, I think that could put them as the number 1 seed. And hockey comes down to goaltending in the playoffs, and they have the big cat, Andre Vasilevsky. So Look for our hometown Lightning to be very competitive in the NHL playoffs. In the West, the number 1 seed is Winnipeg. I mentioned a few times, Winnipeg's a small city in Western Canada, really bad weather. It's probably below 0 there today or something like that. And high crime. But their goalie is absolutely on fire, probably win. I always get the NHL. They don't have like MVP. They have names for all their. I think it's called the Vezina Trophy for the.
It is
the goalie.
Are they up above Vancouver?
No, they're above Minnesota. Winnipeg is about a 7 or 8 hour drive straight north from Minneapolis.
So Vancouver's even more.
But their goalie's playing lights out. I think it's Connor Hellebuyck.
Well, they have the best Connor in the game. They have the best player in the game.
So we'll see what happens in the weeks ahead with the NBA and NHL playoffs. All right, our main topic today, it starts tomorrow. Undoubtedly, the most prestigious golf tournament in the world is the Masters in Augusta, Georgia. They play at Augusta National Golf Course. The Masters was established in 1934. Like, the course wasn't there. They built the course. It was like a nursery, and they turned it into a golf course. In 1949, they established what they call the green jacket. Like, the champion gets a green sport jacket. I don't know if you guys know this. They're not allowed to. If only the winner can take the jacket outside the country club. Like, so past winners don't get to keep their jacket. It has to stay there. I mean, it's still their jacket.
Oh, so all 5 of them stay in the locker?
Yep, correct. Now,
If
you won more than one, you don't get. You only get one jacket. Like, Tiger Woods doesn't have 5 jackets.
Okay. They make it sound like that, though. I didn't know.
I love the tradition of having the last year's winner put the jacket on as well. And I love the Masters more than anything. It's my favorite sporting event of all sporting events.
I agree with you.
And I love it for a couple reasons. Number one, unlike the other 3 majors where it's in a different course every year, the Masters is at the same place every year, and you know the holes.
Right. You actually get to know the way the holes break.
Yes. You know Amen Corner,
placements,
you know the par 5 at 13 and 15, the par 3 at 16 that Tiger chipped it in that time from behind, brought the ball back down. I love it. I've been there twice, and the place is beautiful. It's very, very hilly. You wouldn't believe how many hills there are that they created, because it's not really a hilly part of the country.
No.
They made them all. So they brought in a lot of
I had heard, and I think
trucks.
it's just a rumor, but it may be true knowing that place. But if you find a weed, they'll give you $500. That's how well groomed the place is.
the flowers and the way they
Azaleas.
keep it up so beautifully. And the prices of everything are unbelievable.
Once you get there,
Yes, I mean it's expensive to get a ticket. I think it's
Yeah.
$500 for the ticket if you win the lottery to get it. But when you're there, the beers and the sandwiches and stuff are like
Reasonable.
$2, $3. Nothing's more than $3 for anything.
Wow.
And they and I love how on TV they have, it's mostly commercial free.
And no phones in there.
You're not allowed to bring a cell phone.
No phones at all. They don't even take them and check them. Like, you're just out.
Yeah.
So that's what I love about it. And I don't really even work on Thursday and Friday of the Masters.
I guess everyone has to take off on something. I noticed
Jesus God, you really
a week from Friday is Good Friday. And one of the girls in the office wrote on I'm old school, like my calendar is like a blotter on my desk.
Yeah.
Everyone else puts it in their phone, and she wrote on it, Good Friday holiday. I guess we have Good Friday off, Joe.
Oh, yeah. She wrote on my blog.
That's fine.
Too.
I have no problem with that. But they've come a long way with the Masters. Like, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Like, no blacks were allowed in the club at one time. No black played in the Masters. And you know who the first black to play in the Masters was, Joe?
I don't know the answer to that.
1975.
The guy that carries a cigar there.
Lee Elder.
Yeah.
He was the first one.
Big stogie.
And there was a time not that many years ago where the caddies had to be black. Like, so it was a lot of...
there were a lot of black.
They didn't have any female members. I know that.
No.
Condoleezza Rice was the first female.
Yeah.
Did you see how they had last weekend? They had a women's amateur tournament.
Yeah.
They've had it for about 6 or 7 years now.
Oh, yeah.
And
And it usually just precedes the actual Masters. Like 2 weeks ahead of that.
It was 1 week. It was the last weekend. They have 2 rounds at a different course in Augusta area, and then they play the final round at Augusta National.
I want to say is the first and the fourth round at Augusta, and the middle 2 were at some other course or something.
I like to think Tiger Woods had a lot to do with, some of the changes.
Oh yeah. Well, he's helping them design a short course there now. They try to put in another.
I read that, a little par 3.
Yeah.
They have a par 3 tournaments today.
Yeah.
Yes.
A 9-hole par 3 tournament.
Still think no one has ever won the par 3 tournament and won the actual tournament. I believe that.
No, that's never happened.
Yes.
You're right. Yeah.
So you don't want to win it.
Yeah.
Sandbag the par 3.
Yeah, you want to get a hole in one and then mess up the rest of them.
Yeah.
But so let's talk about who you think's going to win.
Oh, one last thing I just want to touch on is every Tuesday, so that was last night, they have the Champions Dinner, where the winner from the year before picks the menu. I don't know what it was. I know when your Tiger won, it was cheeseburgers and chicken sandwiches.
Black and red fish and a cowboy ribeye, I think, and there's some Texas chili.
Yeah, because Scheffler.
And I think some sort of cookie a la mode or something.
By the way, Scheffler grew up in Dallas, but he was born in New Jersey until the age of 6. So technically,
for those who don't follow the Masters, if you win the thing, you get to pick next year's dinner.
So my wife actually sent me the menu for Scheffler. Appetizers were cheeseburger sliders and firecracker shrimp with Papa Chef's meatballs and ravioli bites. The first course was Texas-style chili. The main course was a wood-fired ribeye or a blackened redfish. Dessert was a warm chocolate chip skillet cookie. And, that started with Ben Hogan. He came up with the idea.
Yeah.
He wrote a letter to all the winners and said, of the past Masters at the time, and said, would you ever mind all getting together? We can take a picture and have a dinner. Yeah. And everyone came back and did it.
Yeah.
All of them started in 1952.
Yes.
It's quite a crew now in there.
You have to be a winner. It's only a winner and the head of the chairman of Augusta National.
Yeah. Ridley.
And so then they had such a great time doing it. They said, let's do it again next year. And
it is neat. The way they do everything. It's just first class. It's mind-boggling.
Most wins, before we get into this year's contenders, Jack Nicklaus has 6, Tiger Woods 5, Arnold Palmer 4, then 5 other men have 3.
Rory McIlroy,
Nick Faldo,
0.
Phil Mickelson.
You're right. It's Faldo, Nicholson. I want to say Gary Player.
Gary Player, yeah.
I think Jimmy Demerit, who was a great golfer in like the 30s.
There's been a bunch of people that have won it twice.
Yeah.
Scotty's won it twice, and Bubba Watson won it twice, for sure. But I say it's death, taxes, and Rory isn't going to win the Masters.
He did come in second in 2022.
I will say this. Now we're touching on Rory, and you're right. That's his Achilles heel, is winning the Masters. But if he's going to have a year to win it, Scheffler's not quite at the top of his game. He hasn't really since he returned. He's gotten back more and more into form as he's progressed. And so a lot of the other guys, Alexander Schauffele, he's been non-existent. He was a great contender.
He got hurt.
His
wrist. He hurt his wrist.
Yeah, no, I'm aware of that. But I think if he's going to have a chance, this might be the best chance he's going to have, only because a lot of the other golfers are not up to snuff. I'm not saying he's going to win it, but that might increase his chances because they're not in the pinnacle of the game right now.
It's a lot of pressure to try to win the career Grand Slam.
I know, with all the other pressure he's putting on himself.
Yes. I mean, we were talking about it. There's only
Plus
5.
the media's just, it's like,
big time.
It's
There's
like
only
a
5
head
people that have won the career Grand Slam,
Yeah.
all 4 majors.
For those who don't know, the 4 majors in golf are obviously the Masters, U.S. Open, British Open, and the PGA Championship. And we talk about career Grand Slam if you won all 4 of those tournaments at least once in your career. Not necessarily the same year. It's only been done, as you mentioned, 5 times.
5 times.
Yeah.
Can you name them?
Jack Nicklaus,
Yeah.
Tiger Woods, Gary Player, Gene Sarazen, and
The guy who made the dinner. Came up with the dinner idea.
Byron Nelson.
No,
Ben Hogan. Yeah.
Ben Hogan. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
So
4 out of
there's
5.
There's
Gene Saracen would be the one. Yeah, you don't think of it. It's hard thinking back that far. You're gonna have that
Famed
guy.
for his, they give trophies for it. They get like a trophy if you get what's called an albatross, a double eagle.
Yeah, they get
His
you get
famous-
like you'll get a glass bowl
Yeah,
or something
yeah.
like
Louis
that. Yes.
Oosthuizen had one that I can remember, and it's a neat hole. He did it on the second hole, and it almost drifts. It seems like about 31 seconds. It just gets on one side of the green and goes almost all the way to the other side.
And the pin was way back right, too.
Way back right.
Yes.
And they're just playing a drift. It's like a drift, drift and break right into the cup. Bang.
We're going to run down some of the favorites. And obviously, betting odds change like at any moment. So someone could be 10-1 right now, and an hour could be 5-1, depending on how much people bet on them. But the favorite is, as Joe mentioned, Scotty Scheffler. He won last year, and he also won in 22. I think right now I saw him at like plus 475. So you bet
I got him
100.
at plus 460, which would basically.
You bet 100 on him and he wins, you get back 475.
That's just not a good bet. There's not enough juice in that for me to lay that money.
Well, as Joe mentioned, as great as he is and player of the year last year, he's not. He doesn't seem to be at the top of his game right now.
His putting hasn't been great. He hits the ball. Nobody hits an iron like that guy, but his putting hasn't been good enough, and I don't think he wins.
They got
Maybe I'll be
Rory
wrong.
McIlroy at plus 650.
And he, as you mentioned, the best he ever did.
Morikawa, they got third at plus 1,500.
Yeah, I saw him at 14-1. He was third last year.
And then Allberg.
John Rahm is 14-1.
I got him at 17.
I'm going to give you two names.
1,700.
I'm going to give you. I'm going to tell you who I think's going to win, and I'm going to give you two dark horses that you never would think of.
Okay.
I think Shane Lowry's going to win the tournament. I don't know what his odds
35
are.
to 1.
35 to odds. I
like
think
sticking $50 on it. I don't know any more than
I
that.
like guys that know the course, have played it a lot. Older guys.
And he's playing well.
Yes.
He's one of the few guys on his whole list that's actually probably at the peak of his game.
And I like two other sort of dark horses. I like Sepp Straka.
Yeah.
He's number 2 in the FedEx Cup right now. He's been playing very well. He's due to win a major. And then I'm going to give you one total.
Fleetwood?
I like Maverick McNeely. You've
Maverick
probably
McNeely.
never even heard of him.
I have, yeah.
I believe that he's the 13th world ranked golfer in the world right now.
He's at 5,500 to 1.
And I put $91 to win $10,000 on Maverick McNeely. So
Nice.
next time on this podcast, I'm buying
We're
dinner.
going to the clam shack.
Now,
We're going to the clam shack.
I'm officially rooting for Maverick McNeely.
Come on, McNeely.
so I'm a big Maverick fan.
Yeah, I got it right
And
here.
91 to win 10,000. You can't turn it down. You might want to put $91 yourself.
It's not a bad little.
That'll lower your odds. You're locked in already.
Well, I'm locked in. I'm
Yeah.
locked in.
No,
so
that's not
those
bad.
are a couple names of guys that you haven't really heard of. McNeely was the number 1 ranked amateur golfer in the world, just like Ludwig Oberg was the number 1 ranked amateur golfer in the world. And Victor Hovland was the number 1 ranked. So was Scotty Scheffler. So if you're the number 1 ranked amateur golfer in the world, you're going to most likely have a really good.
And they welcome amateurs at Augusta. Like the winner of the U.S. Amateur, Joe, is that correct? Automatic invite.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. The mid-amateur, they've got 4 of them. I think it's a mid-amateur.
U.S. amateur champion and the runner-up.
Yeah,
both get
yeah.
to play. And I don't did they let Luke Clanton? Oh no, Clanton got his tour card.
Yeah, he got his
Yes.
tour card. Yeah.
So
yeah.
he would have probably played.
I'm going to give you some of my long shots. He came in third last year. Tommy Fleetwood, I have him at 35 to 1.
I kind of like him too.
Victor Hovland, you mentioned, Mike, is 40 to 1. He missed the cut last year,
But he did finally get a win on tour.
and he tied for 7th in 23. So he can get hot. He won Valspar, right? Were you there? He won Valspar.
And that's a tough course.
I actually went to San Antonio with my wife last December and played that course.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I just walked over it's a TPC. You're supposed to be a member of the TPC,
Yeah,
but I was
yeah.
staying at that resort.
Yeah.
It's I forget what the heck the name of the resort is. But anyway, it's really nice. It's kind of for kids. They've got a big water park there and all that. Yeah. But the course and the hotel are right connected. It's about 25 minutes outside of.
Are we talking about the Valero Texas Open?
Yeah, in San Antonio.
Yeah.
But I was talking about
Valspar.
Valspar.
I'm sorry. You said.
But
I thought you were talking about Valero. Oh, Valspar.
Yeah,
yes.
You're talking about the Valero.
Yes.
You're going with Valspar.
Valspar is the one that we went to up in Tampa.
Now Harmon just won won Valero, right? Was it Harmon that won Valero, or was it
I think it was Harmon.
Harmon? Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was last weekend.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I mixed up the two
Yeah.
names.
I want to tell you. I want to tell you about a story before we get into favorites too. This is kind of a unique situation. I got to give my hat off, and a lot of people probably won't, but I'm looking at this from a golf perspective only, and a second chance at life. And this is Angel Cabrera. He won the Masters in 2009. Okay, just last week he got in the senior champions event on an exemption. Someone dropped out. He got in the tournament, the Pro Football Legends something or other. I don't know what the name of the tournament was, but anyway, he not only got in the tournament, he went on to win the senior event. So now he has a full year exemption to all the majors going next year.
Didn't he go to jail for assaulting?
Yes, for assaulting. Yeah,
assaulting a
for
woman.
double assault.
I think he only got out like relatively recently.
30 months. Yeah, 30 months, and he would have been eligible to play 2023, but he had visa problems.
I'm going to have to say I'm not going to root for him to win.
Well,
I mean, if you do 30 months for assaulting a woman, I'm not rooting for you.
No,
it is a terrible thing. We talked about it on some of our episodes. Is you like to think the world today that is going away. It's not going away. It still happens every day.
They
that putting your hands on a woman.
I don't know if they call it abuse or what the actual charge is, but I know he did 30. I know he did 30 months or whatever.
We don't know all the facts of it,
details,
but
yeah.
it is as Joe said. It's I'm not rooting for him either, but
No.
it's an interesting story.
Yeah,
This guy won the tournament in 2009. He was
I'm
in jail for
surprised
2.5
someone
years,
with
and now
those-
he's back.
I'm surprised someone with those demons can battle at that level to not only come back out of there and win a tournament, and then I mean get into a senior event, which is pretty competitive still.
That is another fun part about the Masters is that it's the only tournament that if
Yeah.
you've won it before, you are
Yeah.
always invited. They finally
Yeah.
quit it, where they used to. The old guys would get up on the first tee and shank one into the crowd and then wave to everyone.
Right.
Now I think at 65 that you're done.
Yeah,
I think they just changed that.
They have the. It starts off with the ceremonial drives. I think it's Jack Nicklaus still
Nicklaus,
does it.
Watson, and Player.
Tom Watson.
and Trevino, Lee Trevino.
No. It's actually Gary Player again.
This year?
Yeah.
I don't know who they did. How they decide.
I thought it was Trevino too at first, but it's not.
I don't think it's always the same people. I think that they ask.
Maybe they see.
It's not always the same, but for years it's.
But I'm pretty sure they said Gary Player.
I think it's still Jack.
Yeah, it's Jack, Tom Watson, and Player. I think.
Tremendous players, no pun intended, all three. Lee Trevino he was a favorite of mine as a kid. Lee Trevino.
You know, I'm going to throw another name out there. He's never done a lot in this thing. I do like Tommy Fleetwood, and I also like, now that you mentioned Maverick McNeely, I do like him because I've watched a lot of these guys. But I like Justin Thomas a little bit to come out of nowhere, maybe even win. I think he's definitely got the firepower. He's just got to keep his.
I have him at
keep it
22-1.
Yeah, I got him at 3,000 plus 3,000. I got him at 30-1.
I like that. He's been playing better.
You probably your odds are probably more. You did when did you do yours?
I did this last night.
Okay, yeah.
If you want
this is a little older.
A really good bet,
Yeah.
it's Max Homa to not make the cut. He's
yeah.
playing horrible golf.
Oh yeah, he's starting to revamp
He
his
has been-
swim.
Well, he's playing so
What do you
poorly
get for
that
that?
his caddy just quit on him basically because he's
Yeah.
shooting 78 and 82,
Yeah.
and maybe the odds aren't good on him anyway because everyone knows that. I just looked up who the honorary starters are this year. It's Nicklaus, Player, and Watson.
Yeah, Nicholas Player. Yeah.
I'll tell you one long
Hideki
shot.
not playing too bad either. Hideki Matsuyama.
What makes it harder to handicap golf? I never really bet. I used to bet on everything. I never really bet on golf, but is the Live Tour. Like these guys, you don't see them or know what they're really doing. But Brooks Koepka, I mean, like 5 years ago, he was the man.
Yeah.
You know, he was dominating almost every major. He was right there, and he's 30-1. He's still a young guy.
He only really cared about the majors.
Yeah, he's a guy who prepares for the majors.
And don't forget about DeChambeau. He could easily win this tournament.
Well, DeChambeau's one of the. He came in number 6 last year.
I'm not a DeChambeau fan. I actually can't.
I don't like him either, but you got to respect his ability.
Yeah. I just can't stand him.
He's a slow player. A lot of the guys don't like that. It takes too long to hit the ball.
DeChambeau and Ian Poulter. That's the other guy I don't like. I've never liked Poulter.
No, I don't like him either.
Oh God, do I hate that guy?
He's his attitude.
I think Brooks Koepka at 31. You got to respect that.
He's a cocky guy too, but I can deal with Koepka.
I really don't root for Rahm either because of the way he's always bitching and moaning on his shots, and he's never happy, and he's such a good player. But every time it's
he also is a little bit of a hypocrite when he left to live. He said never leave to go to live. Yeah, I kind of. Yeah,
$600 million will make you change your mind pretty quickly.
I mean, you can't blame some of these guys for the move they made. At first, I really was pissed with them. But then the more you think about it, well, what would you do if you were in the same situation?
Have you watched?
It's kind of hard.
If another law firm offers me $600 million.
Have you watched on Netflix Full Swing?
No.
It's in their 3rd season. It's really good. And they follow a lot of the golfers in behind the scenes in their houses with their wives.
Oh, really? I didn't see that. No.
One of the episodes, of course, was all about Liv because who was leaving and who was going, and a lot of the guys. You should watch it. I think they're only about 45 minutes long, and it's great. People who don't like golf.
They focus on the mirage of players, and they just won every episode.
My wife's friend Taylor, she never watched golf. She watched the full swing, and now loves it.
Oh yeah.
So if you don't watch golf or you've never been interested, start with Full Swing. It's great. Yeah. And I highly recommend it.
They show their wives.
And when is it on? When is it on?
Oh, I'm saying, do they show their wives?
Oh, it's on Netflix.
So, but the situation is this live money is guaranteed, and they don't have to win. On the PGA Tour, they get obviously apparel endorsements and stuff like that, Rolex and Nike. But for the live, they're paying these guys guaranteed money.
Yeah,
and a lot of it on Full Swing, you'd say that people say this is generational money they're giving away. Yeah. If you're John Rahm at $600 million, you know how many golf tournaments you have to win to win $600 million?
Plus, he's got a. I think it's tied in with Dubois. He's got his own corporate jet of which he can take 10 family members anywhere in the world at any time, be it golf or whatever.
So
probably like a G7. I don't know what they're up to now.
Golf has really exploded in popularity since I think Tiger Woods had a lot to do with that. Like there was a time in the 1970s where bowling had higher ratings than golf on television.
Yeah,
fact.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And now bowling, no one watches it. Golf is, billions. The best bowler in the world maybe makes $200,000 a year. That would be the no golfer.
I can't even name a bowler.
Makes way more than that.
I can't name a bowler.
Can't name a bowler.
I can't name a bowler.
But it's exploded in popularity. But there's probably people watching this that are like, I don't care about golf, and I get that. But if you never played it, it looks simple. It's the hardest sport out there. I mean, we all played sports when we were kids. Joe went to college on a tennis scholarship. Mike played baseball. I played baseball, basketball in high school, tennis.
For me, the problem is the ball's still. In playing a baseball, it's coming at you and it's moving, so you just instinctively hit it.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's just there and you have to get your hand-eye coordination and hit it.
You would think it's so easy, but it's not.
My first time playing, I quit after 4 holes. I was getting a 13 on every
I saw a funny joke the other day, and it said, my wife thinks I'm cheating on her. And he said, I went and played 9 holes with her, and she said, there's no possible way that you could be gone for 6 hours at a time every Saturday and be as bad as you are. So what are you really doing?
The famous, I like that. The famous writer Mark Twain said, golf is a great way to ruin a good walk. But it's fun. Like I play 4 times a year.
I like that one too.
I'm going to play Sunday. I think we're going to play.
We got to
hack it up on Sunday morning.
Nice.
But
there's so many courses around here. So it makes it accessible.
And it's exercise. I mean, like people think, oh, you're riding in the cart, but you're still
you're hitting
the club 100 times. I mean, it's more than 100 times. I mean, and then I try to walk as much as possible rather than use the cart whenever I can. So at least it's a workout. You're out there in beautiful weather. Obviously, Augusta is a gorgeous course. It's fun to watch. Like even if you're not like a rabid golf fan, it's fun to watch the Masters.
How much walking around did you do? I know it's unusually hilly, and even the people had an incredible shape. They said it's a son of a gun.
The course at Augusta is amazingly hilly, especially 9 and 18. Both holes go straight up the hill back to the clubhouse. The clubhouse is on the top of the hill.
All right.
It's very, very hilly. I walked pretty much the whole course. The second time I was with my father, and he was not doing well. And to be honest with you, I wanted to have that time with him before he passed.
Yeah.
And I was able to get him from the parking lot to the 9th green, which is the closest green to the parking lot.
Oh, I got you.
And I got him a chair and I sat him down, right? And he never moved.
Oh,
he couldn't walk. His hip was so bad.
I got you.
And I was able to walk around. And we loved it. And I stayed with him most of the day, but he did say, son, go walk the course a little bit. Yeah. My favorite place to sit is
12
to sit on where the 11th green is and the 12th tee. The 11th is a par 4. There's water on the left, very hard hole.
That is the hottest hole on the course, by the way.
And then 12 is the treacherous par 3 over the water.
Correct.
And the toughest part about 12, although it's not a very long hole, is the winds are always swirling in that corner, and the green is very narrow from front to back.
Yeah.
So you don't have a lot of landing space over the trap, short of the back trap. And get it. It's like a sideways lima bean shaped green.
Yeah.
And so you can sit there behind the tee box on 12, watch all of the par 3 shots, and you can still see the green and the putts, and you can watch them chip and putt on 11. So it's the best spot if you ever go sit right there.
It's not that wide a green either.
And they have a big stand there. Yeah. It's such a popular place to sit that you can actually find a spot.
Is that more expensive to sit in that location? Because that's probably the marquee.
No.
That's no.
I'm not aware of any thing like that. There, you get your ticket, and you can sit wherever you want.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are corporate tents and stuff like that. But
is that way you're viewing second shots on? You're catching like 3 different holes there.
Unlike a lot of the golf tournaments where there are big, huge tents and stuff, and sponsored 3M or whatever, and they build up big stadium type things, and you have to pay a ton of money to sit them. Yeah. Augusta's really not like that.
Yeah.
If your regular ticket, you're sitting just as well as any corporate executive.
Yeah. Nice.
And they only play twosomes in the Masters. Like most golf tournaments are 3 guys, and I believe it's all twosomes. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not a very big field.
No.
Because of the qualifications.
Yeah.
You have to be in the.
I guess if there was a considerable amount of rain, maybe they go to. I don't think I've ever seen them go to 3. Now that you mention.
I don't think there's more than 75.
Did we get
players.
the weather forecast?
I don't think there's more than 75 players in the field. In order to get in, you have to be in the top 50 in the world ranking.
Yeah.
You have to have won a PGA Tour event in the last year.
Yeah.
And or one of the majors.
A
former winner of the Masters, you're in for life.
Or you got 5-year exemptions of 10-year.
They have 5 to 10 years depending on a U.S. Open win or an Open Championship win or PGA Championship win.
No rain in the forecast. Little chilly. 72 tomorrow, 66 Friday, 63 Saturday, and 68 Sunday, but no rain.
As long as it's not windy, they'll play well.
Yeah.
They'll be probably.
And supposedly it rained like hell Monday, so the greens are probably still somewhat soft right now, I would think. But I don't know if they got heaters underneath the greens. I mean, that place is so jacked. It's like a course on steroids.
If it rains and the courts get soft, it actually is easier for them. Because the greens are so fast there.
Yeah.
So if it rains, I could see the winner being maybe 15 under, 12 to
Well, I
15
thought
under.
the over/under I think is 12.
Yeah.
So to win that it would have to be 12.
Yeah.
I believe that.
That seems about right.
Yeah, you're right.
If you bet the under, it would have to be like 11.
Probably if there was soft and benign winds, then you're right. It'd probably jump up to 50.
If the forecasts were heavy winds, I would say don't.
Yeah.
But if it's if it's gonna rain, if it rains today and then there's no wind, I could see taking that as it would be below that.
It's funny because Bernard Langer was saying, I guess he said it's just so hard now because these kids are going out there and hitting low to mid irons into these par fives. The yardage is now 7,500, whereas I think the Champions Tour pays 7,100. That's a substantial difference. Now they're playing courses at 7,500 yards. And Langer says, I'm hitting 3 woods where they're hitting.
Sure.
And Langer's not probably too short. I'm sure he's whacking at 260, 265.
Is he 60 years old?
He's older than that.
68.
He's
Yeah.
68?
68,
And he's in
yeah.
great shape.
Yeah, he is. But
He dominates on the senior tour.
Something's going on with his actual. He's having problems with his feet. Or I don't know what it's going.
He could be one of the all-time greatest tee to green players in golf history. He was never a good putter, right, John?
Yeah, and he's incredible putter now. I mean, he's gotten better on a senior tour, since then. I mean, they won the father-son. He and matter of fact, they beat the Woodses. And like, I don't know if it was a playoff. It might have been a playoff, but see, Langer hit from substantially farther in than Woods did. And Woods really then wasn't really on his best game.
There's 95 people in the Masters this year. Vijay Singh withdrew due to injuries. He's a former winner.
Yeah.
From Fiji.
And
Tiger.
So just for normal circumstances on your average tour, there's about 156 that play each week.
150, yeah.
So you're talking
you're right.
about a substantially smaller field.
Yeah. And what do they take, the top 50 in ties? I think it might be 50 in ties. Or
I think it's
within
50.
10 shots.
Within 10 shots, or within 10.
It ends up being about only 50 guys. So it's
So the situation is, of 95 people, there's really only about 30 guys that can win this tournament.
Yeah.
They make it so difficult, and the course is so hard. You can't win the Masters by accident. You can't go out and roll in some putts and come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And win this tournament because it's just too difficult. You have to be one of the best golfers in the world.
And some of them, like, get a guy like Adam Scott. Now, Adam Scott will probably. He hasn't. I haven't seen his name on much of anything this year. I mean, he was playing well last year. I expect him to we'll start seeing his name maybe up in the top 10 because he's played that course so many times.
I can't root for a guy that has a putter that's like up to here.
We're going to make the official invitation right now that the winner of the Masters is invited on next week's episode. We're going to give you airfare, hotel, and Hooters. Unlimited Hooters.
And they're going to give us lessons.
Actually, I have seen a lot of pro athletes at Hooters, so it's not like this will be the first time. We'll be the special guest, and we'll even throw in some drinks, too, to the winner.
We did see...
free legal services.
Who's the guy I saw at the... Not this trip, but the pro there, the golf pro at Columbia House. That was Azinger.
Yeah, Paul Azinger.
Yeah,
he lives in the area.
Yeah, he's at Columbia House quite a bit, from what I hear.
Local restaurant,
Yeah.
Cuban restaurant.
They have a world famous salad.
1905 salad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1905
salad. Yeah.
Shout out to Columbia House. We went there last Friday, Joe and I and some friends.
And shout out to the girl who paid for everything, Alicia.
Shout out to our friend Alicia who paid.
And thank you for the scratch ticket.
It doesn't happen very often. So when I see a woman signing a check at a restaurant, I take a picture on my phone. I think I have 3 photos in my phone. Because that was the only time that ever happened.
Well, the salad it's in St. Armand's Circle, which is just outside of downtown Sarasota. You go over the bridge, and then it's this nice circle, and it has all the shops and restaurants, and Columbia Restaurant's there. It's not the first one we heard; it's the second one. The original one is up some
Ybor City.
Tampa, yeah.
Ybor, which
I've
is
been to that
in
one,
kind
too.
of a bad area.
Yeah, it is. And that used to be, going back to that, Mike, that used to be very, very nice. As a matter of fact, when I went to University of Tampa, parents came down because my grandparents lived on Bush Boulevard. So we went to that Ybor City, and those days when Gary and I were there, it was beautiful.
We drove up there.
Now you get robbed.
We drove up there because we wanted to see the manatees.
Yeah.
And my wife was like, I've never seen a manatee before.
Yeah.
So the power plant is up there.
Yeah.
And this time of year when it's been colder,
That's what they're all.
the discharge from the power plant warms the water up.
Yeah.
And so all the manatees are
Migrate up.
living there, not in the area vicinity of the power plant. And we were a little late. Apparently, the water's getting warmer because we only saw one.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it said in like January, from November to January when the water gets cooler, that you'll see like 20 of them there.
Yeah. And even behind Felipe Creek, if you're lucky enough, I've only been to Felipe Creek twice because it's very pricey, I think. I think it's overly pricey, but they've got manatees back in that water, too.
All right, so we're going to give, to sum up, we're going to give just one name each. Forget about odds. You have to make your one pick.
Shane Lowry.
Oh, boy. This is a hot bet. Tommy Fleetwood.
Actually, Joe and I are in agreement.
Yeah,
I was going to
yeah.
pick somebody else.
You got to pick somebody else. We got to give
then,
him.
All right, I'll give him Fleetwood because he did pick it. I guess I want him to. Let me go with Justin Thomas. I think
There we go.
There we go. So we'll all be. At what time do they tee off tomorrow? The TV doesn't start.
well here
8 a.m.
no,
usually.
right there.
But we're not going to be able to watch every hole.
It may yeah right.
If you go
somewhere's
to
around 8 a.m.
masters.com or masters.org, whatever, they have
the printouts. I printed that out. I didn't bring it
They'll
with me,
have
but
like
that's about
4
it.
different viewing things. They'll have like Amen Corner, and that's all they show. Or they'll have
Yeah.
Featured groups.
Yeah.
And they'll have 3 or 4 featured groups, and they follow them.
Yeah.
Until the actual TV broadcast comes on.
At 2 in the afternoon.
Yes.
or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look at my calendar here real quick.
Let's switch. Let's take this Friday.
Do you want to
instead
go
of Good
next
Friday.
year?
Jesus God.
Actually, I could probably go. I could probably be able to get out of the office by like 2:30 tomorrow. So could watch it. What time does
Yeah, it'll be on then.
Maybe what I'll do is let's take two thirds. They take a total of 2 hours off each day. Let's do that.
So it's 3 o'clock on ESPN. So I'll be able to make that.
Thursday and Friday. Want to take 2 hours off each
Yeah,
day?
yeah, we'll do that.
Let's do that. Oh, I'll do that. That's what I'll do.
Sold.
And we'll go meet. that will be better on everything.
We'll watch that at my favorite sports bar.
Then we'll be watching Maverick McNeely. Come on, you know what? I like to see that guy win.
I would like to see
Playing
that.
great.
That is a good pick, though, Michael. That's a very good pick. That's a great pick, as a matter of fact.
And I think
The
the
guy's
hot
hot,
pick
too.
is the guy who finished second last year. We talked about him earlier. Is Ludwig Oberg.
Oh yeah.
He's 18-1.
He will be the number 1 player in the world at some
at
point
some
in his
juncture,
career.
yeah.
I promise you that.
I think this course. I think with him, he's got to get more and more used to the course, the undulations and things like that. You know, the where to put the ball. I think there's an art to that, and it takes multiple rounds so people know when to bail out, when to play safe, when to attack.
I think
the
Jack
course.
Nicklaus's last Masters and Tiger's, both Jack and Tiger, I think their experience on the course was the primary factor in their last win. They were not the dominant player, either of them, in their last win.
It
It's
takes
funny-
experience, and that's
it's
why
funny
I like
how-
Lowry.
So it's a
on-
big advantage to know the course.
Yeah.
Funny how on number 12, one thing, Nicholas and Woods, they go for the left part of that green. They don't go for the sucker pin on the right, where it's longer to carry, and it's more dangerous because it's more. The wind has got the ball more. They go the short part, just get on middle to left part of the green, maybe a little cut, and they don't even attempt to go with that.
You
pin.
can't short side yourself, and
Yeah.
you can't put yourself above the hole either.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fun. I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah.
So I guess
3:00 tomorrow. We'll reconvene.
Yeah.
for having
time. Same bad channel.
thanks for having me on.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for being
Appreciate
on.
it.
We'll
Thank
see you
you.
next week, everybody.
I enjoyed this segment.